everybody. This is Shawna Odette from the Flying Cat Academy. Welcome to lesson number 101. In this lesson, we will introduce the student to a new syllable type, the R-controlled syllable type. Let's begin by setting up the table. You'll need your top 160 sight word list, and if the student has finished all those words, you can move on to the top 290 word list, which you can find on the flyingcatacademy.com website. Go to the guided lessons section and you'll find a subpage called Extra Resources. You'll find it there. In addition, you'll need the sight word study method instruction sheet for the teacher, the card pack for the student, some blank cards, highlighter markers, and some pencils. For the phonemic awareness drill, you'll need the teacher instruction sheet and the colored tiles for the student. For the visual drill and auditory drill, you'll need the teacher instruction sheets and the card pack for the student. We'll have a syllable card drill in this lesson, so you'll have to have this one cut out and ready to go on the table. For the magnetic letter tile drills for reading and spelling, you'll need the teacher instruction sheets and the cookie sheet with the letters spread in a rainbow shape for the student. You'll need the syllable pounding instruction sheet, the new phoneme grapheme kinesthetic discovery sheet, and the sheets for the lesson. In addition, we will have a sort that we used in a previous lesson to work on the different graphemes that all make the sound OO, and we'll also have a slider for IGHT. In addition to all of that, you'll probably have a timer on the table, and you'll need this because you've probably introduced the fluency element by this point, and you'll need to use a secondary program to do this, such as Read Naturally or the 6-Minute Reading Solution. It's time for the sight word study method. Student, can you take out your card pack now? I'd like you to read through all of the words in your card pack. After you read a word correctly, you'll put a check mark in the corner of the card. Once you're finished reading all the words, you'll hand the card pack to your teacher, and then it's your teacher's turn to read. Your teacher will read each word, and student, you'll write each one down. After you write a word correctly, you'll put a check mark in the other corner of the card. Once you're finished with the task, have a quick discussion with your teacher about which of those words has been mastered. Mastered words are removed from the card pack. This leaves space so that you can introduce a new sight word. Now it's time for the phonemic awareness drill. Student, you'll need your colored tiles for this one. Take out one tile and call it ow. Can you repeat that sound? Okay. Now take out a second tile and call it d. Can you repeat that sound? Put the d in front of the ow. And what do you get? Did you say dow? If you did, that's right. Find the d in the dow and change the d into a n. Now tap it and say it. What's your new word? Did you say now? I would like to go now. If you did, that's right. Find the n in now. Change the n into a p. What's your new word? Tap it and say it. Did you say pow? Sometimes when a cartoon character gives a hit, they call it a pow. Yeah. Okay, so now I'd like you to find the ow in pow. Change the ow into an oi and tap it and say it. Did you say that your new word is poi? If you did, that's right. Add a n to the end of poi. Now tap it, say it. Did you get poin? Not a word yet, but let's turn it into a real word. Add a t to the end of poin, and what's your new word? Did you say point? I get the point. If you did, that's right. Okay, add a s onto the front of point, and we'll get a nonsense word. Okay, did you say it was spoint? If you did, that's right. Okay, take away the t from the end of spoint, and what are you left with? Tap it and say it. Did you say spoin? Still not a real word. Let's change the n at the end of spoin. We'll change the n into a oo. Now tap it, say it. Did you say the word was spoil? Better put the milk back in the fridge so it doesn't spoil. If you did, that's right. Okay, great job. You can put your tiles away. Now let's do the visual drill. Student, what are the sounds of this one? You've learned 2 sounds that it can make. Did you say it can say ooh as in you or ow as in out? If you did, that's right. Teacher, do about 6 to 8 flashcards in this way. Now let's do the auditory drill. Student, your sound is oi. Can you repeat that sound? Now I'd like you to write down all the graphemes, all the symbols that you know to write oi. As you're writing them down, say the sound. And then when you're finished, underline them and say the sound again. Then we'll check your work. Did you say that OY can make oi? That's true. That happens at the end of words like toy or boy. And did you say that OI is another way to write oi? And that happens in words like coin or join. Okay, teacher, you can do about 6 to 8 flashcards in this way. Now it's time for the syllable card drill. Your teacher has this one all ready to go on the table. You're going to read down all the syllables in column number 1, and then read down all the syllables in column number 2, and then you'll read across the rows making nonsense words. Finally, it's time to unscramble things. So you'll unscramble by moving around the syllables in column number 2 so that they match up with different ones in column number 1. As you create the real words, remember to discuss the meanings of the words and to put some of them into sentences. Now it's time for syllable pounding. Student, could you tell me how many syllables are in the word enjoyment? Can you repeat that word? Now count the syllables either by putting your hand under your chin and saying the word and feeling your chin hit your hand for the number of syllables, or you could say the word and tap your arm and stretch out your finger for every syllable that you hear. Okay, I hear 3 in that one. Enjoyment. How about this one? En. Can you repeat that? How many syllables? I just hear 1. I hear the eh of Eddie. Okay, how about this one? Mouse. How many syllables in that word? Did you say 1? I hear the ow sound. Okay, how about this one? Lighthouse. How many syllables? Let's see. Lighthouse. I hear 2 in that one. How about this one? Highlight. Can you repeat that word? Okay, how many syllables? Highlight. I hear 2. Okay, it's time to do your scooping syllable worksheet. So can you take that one out? And teacher, you can take out the teacher answer key. And student, remember to discuss your thinking as you're working through the sheet. Now you're going to practice adding suffixes to bases of different syllable types. We've got 2 worksheets that are going to help you do this. Take out your worksheets now, and remember that as you're building your word sums, it's a great idea to discuss your thinking out loud. Now we're going to do a read and sort to review the different graphemes that make the sound ooh. We have E, W, O, O, and O, U. You'll read the word and then put it into a story. So I could say through. I was playing soccer and I said through, pass the ball through. And then I'll sort it under the OU pattern. And now it's the teacher's turn to do part of the story. The player said, soon, I'll pass the ball to you, soon. And then the teacher will sort that one under the OO. And then it's back to the student for the student's turn to add to the story. Player number 1 said, oh, I can't stand playing soccer with you, crew. You never pass the ball. And on you go. In our last lesson, you learned that IGH makes the I sound. The I says its name and the GH just sits silently in words. We're going to review this common family of IGHT, IT, by doing a slider. So the teacher will have the slider on the table for you, and you can just move the slider to reveal the new words and read them nice and quickly. And if that slider is not available, then I will provide it here. Now let's move into the new content part of the lesson. We're going to learn about a brand new syllable type. And as always, we'll start with what we know. So here is a word that you can tap and read. Okay, did you say that word is cat? If you did, that's right. What type of syllable is the word cat? Did you say that this one is an closed syllable? It has one vowel. The vowel is closed in by one or more consonants, so we know that that vowel is short. What sound is the A making in this word? Can you tell your teacher, student? It's saying ah, as in apple. Okay, everything's fine so far. Today we're going to learn about a brand new syllable type, and this is called the R-controlled syllable type. When we have one vowel and it's followed by an R, it looks like it's a closed syllable, doesn't it? And in most ways it is. But when we try and say the word, it's so difficult to say that R. R is one of the hardest sounds to produce. And let's just say that sound. And because that's such a difficult thing, the back of your tongue is raising up. We call it taco tongue. The front of the tongue is making this like cup shape. It's very hard to say Just feel all the things that are happening to make that sound. When we try and say a vowel and then say the R sound, it's pretty much impossible. So we don't even try. Instead, we make a sound that's neither long nor short. It's a new sound. So in this case, we're going to name the R. So we'll say K, and then we don't even try and say the A, and we just say R. So this is K, R. There's different sounds that come up when we have the different vowels that are hitting up against an R. So we just learned that AR is R. Can you say that? Then we have OR. And instead of saying the olive sound, we're going to say OR. Can you say that? OR. And then there's only one other sound, and we use this sound for all the rest of the vowels that are going to hit up against the R. We say Can you say that? So ER is IR, same sound, Can you say And UR, same sound again, Can you say that? In today's lesson, we're going to focus on AR. And in the upcoming lessons, we'll focus on we'll do this one at a time and focus on each of the combos. So today, AR. Let's make a few examples of how we change from that ah sound into the R sound. So here's a nice closed syllable, no tricks here. Can you read that word? At. So you can clearly hear the ah. But when we have an R that follows the A, now we have an R-controlled syllable type. And now we're going to read this as R. So read art. That word is art. Okay, let's see how it can change again. So here's a nice closed syllable. So tap and say that one. That word is ban. When you stop something, prohibit something, you put a ban on it. And now I'm going to put an R after the A. So we're going to have our new sound. It stops being an apple situation. What's the word now? Tap and say it with the R sound. That word is barn. B-R-N, barn. Let the horse out of the barn. Now let's practice this new idea that AR makes the R sound by doing a blending drill. I'll provide it here on the video. Now let's do the magnetic letter tile drill for reading. Student, you're going to need your cookie sheet with your letters spread in a rainbow shape for this one. Your sound is K. Can you repeat that sound? Now find the correct tile and pull it to the middle. Your sound is Ah. Now find the correct tile and pull it to the middle. Can you say T? Now find the correct tile and pull it to the middle. Tap and say your word. Did you say this word is cat? And did you spell it C-A-T? If you did, that's right. Now find the Ah in cat. I'd like you to change this Ah sound into R. Think about the new way that you've just learned to write R. So add the letter that you need and tap and say the word. Did you spell this one C-A-R-T and say that it was cart? If you did, that's right. Okay, put those tiles away and let's get ready for a new word. Your first sound is R. Can you repeat that sound? Now find the correct tile or tiles and pull them to the middle. Your sound is Can you repeat that sound? Now find the correct tile and pull it to the middle. Tap it and say it. Did you say that the word is arm? This is my arm. If you did, that's right. Teacher, if you have time, you can do more words in this way. And if not, then move on to the single word list, the short story, and then the fluency element. Now let's do the magnetic letter tile drill for spelling. Student, you'll need your cookie sheet with your letters spread in a rainbow shape. Your word is card. Can you repeat that word? I might say, I played a great card. What's the first sound that you hear in card? Find the correct tile and pull it to the middle. What's the next sound that you hear in card? Find the correct tile or tiles and pull them to the middle. What's the last sound that you hear in card? Find the correct tile and pull it to the middle. Now tap it and say it. Did you spell this one C-A-R-D? If you did, that's right. Okay, put those tiles back and get ready for your next word. Your word is yarn. Can you repeat that word? I might say, my grandma grabbed some yarn to knit me a sweater. Okay, what's the first sound that you hear in yarn? Find the correct tile and pull it to the middle. What's the next sound that you hear in yarn? Find the correct tile or tiles and pull them to the middle. And what's the last sound that you hear in yarn? Find the correct tile and pull it to the middle. Now tap it and say it. Did you spell this one Y-A-R-N? If you did, that's right. Teacher, if you have time, you can do more words in this way. And if not, then student, let's have you grab a lined piece of paper and a pencil because it's time to write some single words. I'd like you to tap out the sounds in the word, say the whole word, and then write it down. Your word is pat. Can you repeat that word? What are the sounds in pat? Say the word, write it down. Did you spell pat, P-A-T? If you did, that's right. Now I'd like you to write the word part. Can you say that word? Part. I might not eat the whole pizza, but I might eat part of the pizza. Okay, tap it, say it, write it down. Did you spell this one P-A-R-T? If you did, that's right. Okay, your next word is start. Can you repeat that word? If you don't start, you won't finish. Tap it, say it, write it down. And let's check it. Did you spell this one S-T-A-R-T? If you did, that's right. Okay, your word is cart. Can you repeat that word? I might go in a go-kart. Tap it, say it, write it down. Did you spell this one C-A-R-T? If you did, that's right. Okay, it's time to write some sentences. So teacher, you're going to read out the 3 sentences and let the student choose 2 that will be written. Student, after you write your sentence, make sure you check your work with chops. Do a quick review before you go. Student, let's review some vowel diphthongs. What is the sound that these ones make? Tell your teacher now. Did you say ah? If you did, that's right. And this one makes 2 different sounds. What are they? Did you say oo as in boo and as in book? If you did, that's right. And today we learned about a brand new syllable type, the R-controlled syllable type. And on the surface, well, let's just start with what we know here. We'll start with a nice closed syllable. So can you read that word? That word is pat. And what sound is the A making in that word? Can you say it? It's saying ah. But if we put an R right after the A, it's almost impossible to say both of those sounds correctly because the R is such a difficult sound to make. So instead, we don't even try. And we make a new sound that's neither long or short. And in the AR combo, it's going to sound like, can you tell your teacher what the sound of that will be? It'll sound like R. So what's that word? Tap it and say it. P-R-T. Part. Great job today. This is the end of lesson 101. This is Shawna Odette from the Flying Cat Academy.